the introduction to the, ta-da. So I'm going to just take us through these slides, and then at the end of the slides, we're going to go to an actual practice where you're going to learn hands-on the tools that we're going to review. So in this introduction, basically what we're talking about is how to avoid caregiver burnout, a state of physical and emotional, mental exhaustion that happens when we're taking care of someone else. The stress that caregivers go through typically results in anxiety, fatigue, depression, poor sleep, poor digestion, and it can break down even further if we let it go into other areas of our life. So we want to try to learn how to self-assess and nip it in the bud before it becomes a symptom, before it becomes something, a little further along, like getting sick from it, or something even at that point that would have to call in a medical team if you got sick from it. So we want to try to stay balanced, stay rested in all these categories. We are responsible for taking care of our own well-being. And if we don't put ourselves first, we really have no one else to blame but ourselves for not taking care of ourselves. So one of the things we'll learn is how to establish a daily practice of self-care and picking your favorite. There are so many different pieces of self-healing techniques to choose from. You'll pick the one that works best for you. It might be a myriad of things put together. It might be a single thing that you like the best. And then once you have a little bit more control over your nervous system and you're able to shift your energy quickly in from the result of being triggered by something that brings you stress, that new mood stabilization will then have a ripple effect out to the people around you. So the increase in your well-being will increase the well-being of the people that you surround yourself with. It only can make things better. So in our time together today, going to learn to self-assess your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. And then we'll review the tools that you can use to create a daily practice. If those tools jive with your energy, great. If you seek other tools, we have other suggestions as well. Some of the things that we'll talk about are a presentation all unto themselves, so we don't have the time to get into each category. So we're going to touch on some of them, and then in future blog posts and future workshops, we'll go into a deeper dive in some of those as well. So the first thing that we're going to do to really understand this is that you can control your nervous system, especially the vagus nerve that runs from the brain stem down through the heart into your gut, into your stomach. So it's no surprise when we feel things in our stomach first, if we get nervous or agitated, it's because that stimulation from the vagus nerve is going into a stimulation, a hyperdrive. So we're going to learn how to soothe it in these practices and take control of it a little bit better. The vagus nerve is one of the systems that controls our nervous system. Bear with me. All right. So as a caregiver, if you are actively caregiving, whether it be older adults in your family, extended family, professionally, or children on top of other stressors in your life, really getting to a point where you are assessing before you're overwhelmed. So that if you need to talk to a professional, if you need to vent, if you need to join a support group or, talk to your doctor, that you can address these things before they get to that state of overwhelm, where then you're chasing the symptoms and trying to put the pieces back together. So exercising is known to be one of the top ways of reducing stress, but also yoga and breath work, whether you have a wide range of motion or a limited range of motion, it can be the most soothing to your nervous system. Sometimes aggressive exercise, like aerobic exercise, can actually do the opposite. It can. So we want to do gentle stretching. We want to do things like yoga and breath work to de-escalate the nervous system when we're in a hyper response. whenever possible, to avoid burnout, to avoid overburdening yourself, really truly delegating as much as you possibly can. And so the self-assessment, this is upon waking in the morning when you have a clean slate. Nothing has happened yet. You've just opened your eyes. And if you are one of those folks who reaches for your phone first thing, I encourage you to not do that, to take a few minutes, sit with this waking state and see how you feel. Did you sleep? How do you feel physically? How do you feel emotionally? Did your mind immediately go to what stressed you out yesterday or issues from yesterday? Anything lingering? Did it go to a dream that you might have had? Did your mind go to your checklist for the day? So I want you to think about this assessment as a way to call yourself out, like, oh, I do that. I do reach for my phone. I immediately look to, outside things, and I don't meet my own physical needs first. So if you realize that you have a practice that needs to be self-corrected a bit, that's a great part of your self-assessment. So again, how did you sleep? How do you physically feel? How do you emotionally feel? And where does your mind first go to? And then if you have any discomfort in your body, in your mind, then you can match it with the tool that we will put in your toolbox to meet those needs before you start to address the needs of other people. So the big takeaway on this particular piece here in self-assessment is to meet your own physical and emotional needs first before you launch into your day or addressing the needs of someone else. Unless, of course, you're called into a crisis upon waking and you have to immediately go into action. There will be a way to self-correct that. There will be a way to reset that energy and start fresh. So if you feel anxious about the day ahead, whatever is going through your mind, if you can name it, acknowledge it, address it with some of your tools, it's normal to feel all of those different things depending on what the situation is. But we want to really call it out so that we can move it out of our body, move it out of the front of our mind, and acknowledge those feelings because they do matter. They are real, they are relevant, and it's how we feel. So we have to make way for it. So starting your day in a positive way really truly has a ripple effect, like I said, to the people around you that you surround yourself with. So you're doing it for yourself, but you're really impacting everybody else's day as well. Your brain is a receiver. Everything it takes in is filtered by the frequency. So if it's negative or positive, it's going to affect you unless you're able to kind of put it in its box, shift it, and move it away. So one of those things that can upset our nervous system right away in a day is turning on the news, turning on something that might show us harshness or negativity, going straight to social media or emails or text messages. If we do that first thing in the morning, we're really programming ourselves to be in that mode. And we want to slow it down. We want to immediately lock on to something that's more calming instead of something that might trigger the stress responses. And one of the things that I teach people, we're going to go back to when we do the full practice, is to really ease into the day, grab your coffee or your tea or whatever your morning elixir is, and calmly sit before you launch into your electronics and your day. So if this means that you have to wake up 5, 10, even 15 minutes early to put this practice into place, I encourage you to do that because it will pay you back tenfold. It's also a great practice to perhaps set your bedtime slightly earlier to involve this practice at bedtime, 5, 10, or 15 minutes before you're ready to settle down for bed. That way you are coming down off of whatever you've just experienced in your day, you're releasing it and going into your sleep pattern with a better mindset and a calmer state of being. So a gentle head neck stretch, a calm breathing technique, those things are a great way to start your morning. I don't think that everybody has to do necessarily both. I think that if you do one or the other and then work your way up to maybe doing both and incorporate them, there may be other things that you incorporate into a third leg of this stool, but at least some body movement and some breath work is a great way to kickstart your morning. Maybe it's set to a background of soothing music or guided meditation. That can be the third part of this. So pick your poison, whichever one is going to work for you, whatever your favorite thing is. If you are a person who likes to meditate, I would say 5 to 7 minutes is fine. And if you're just starting out and you really haven't had the ability to learn a meditative practice, I suggest a guided meditation because you can just sit back and listen to it, being in a comfortable posture, breathing normally. Let the guidance of the words and the music just take you away for that quick 5 minutes. It can be something free on YouTube that you download on your phone or your tablet or your laptop so that wherever you go, you have this tool with you. So meditation can be anywhere, can be just a few minutes in your car before you head into a meeting or a doctor's appointment, or heading into the home of the person you might be caring for if they don't live with you. So that gentle, quiet silence for a few minutes is very resetting of your energy. Some people really love the vocal aspect of releasing your vocal cords, and one meditation practice involves chanting and involves using your voice, things that you would say out loud like an affirmation, or even just vowels, or om, for example, is very powerful to hum, to chant, let out a little primal scream if you're really having one of those days. But if you're in the privacy of your car or your home and you have the ability to use your voice and really express yourself in that quick meditation, it can totally change your vibration and the way that you present when you head into your day. So affirmations are positive statements. It helps with daily coping to use around your boundaries, reducing stress, and it really does help us be a better caregiver when we tell ourselves positive things about ourselves and how we're performing. And it makes us remind ourselves to have this type of a mantra to take better care of ourselves. It can be a note, a cheat sheet, a text message you send yourself with a little script. It can be one line or a couple of words. It can be something you put on a Post-it and you have handy in different places to remind yourself. But everything that we're learning really, truly is a nervous system reboot. We want to address that gentle, soothing stretch, expansion of our rib cage for our diaphragm and the stomach area, and letting that inhale and exhale move throughout our body. And if we have the ability in any time or place, wherever you are, to incorporate music to it, then that would be a great way for this to enhance your practice. So the practice that you create, it might be simple at first. It might be one piece of this. You might add on the second piece. You might do all three at the same time. And you can add in different things that are helpful to you, like motivational podcasts. Like I said, the music or meditations, maybe it's vibrational music and different types of music that are programmed for meditation and relaxation. They have a different tone to them on purpose. So in meditation, if you're a person who's never tried it before, or you say, oh, I can't quiet my mind, I'm always thinking, I'm always, on that vibration of thinking, overthinking. When you go into that music and really can just follow it, it doesn't matter. If your mind wanders, it's okay. Cut yourself some slack. We don't all become master meditators overnight. It is a practice. That's why they call it a practice. So if you can achieve up to 5 minutes, that's great. If you can go longer over time, that's desirable as well. Make sure that you're comfortable. You feel that breath work and get grounded. What I mean by that is that you feel very centered. You don't feel agitated. You don't feel jumpy, that you feel grounded in your space. And if a stress trigger comes up and you can't seem to get past it, then maybe you release your grip on that and you go to another tool. If meditation isn't working, you pick something that's a little bit more aggressive, like changing your environment, getting up from where you are, leave the room. If you can go outside, get a breath of fresh air. If you can change your location, now you're moving, you can open up to gentle movement or exercise, a lap around the house, a quick, brief in and out from outside can just help you reset, reshift the energy, and then go to the next tool. Change of location is really a great first step. The movement, the breath, and then bringing in other things like the music, the vocals, and then we will add a couple of other things that work magically fast as soon as we get to that part. So right now, I want to give you some examples of affirmations. And it's very, very helpful when you craft them yourself because you know when you're speaking someone else's words in the words that they would have chosen versus your own words. It can be much more powerful, empowering, and impactful for you if you script it yourself. But these are just some examples. So one of my favorites, I am doing the very best I can in a tough situation. Everything is temporary, and each day I'm grateful for the lessons I have learned that make me stronger. That whole statement right there just allows you to be human. Remind yourself you are not Superwoman, Superman, and that you're giving yourself acknowledgement for how tough the situation is that you're getting through, that you're coping with. And this is so that we're going into balance so that we can someday thrive in that lane instead of just surviving the day. You're going to eventually use tools and master your day because you now know how to shift it at any time. So another great affirmation, call yourself out. I am a person, a good mother, a wife, a daughter, a caregiver, and an employee. I am all of those things to all different people. And in self-care, I'll give myself the care and attention I need to be peaceful and patient with myself and others. One of the things that I like to say is we have to respect and love ourselves first. I deserve to be treated with honesty, dignity, and grace. I request that from others, and I give it to myself first. That's a powerful statement right there. Shifting our mindset. This is an important category of affirmations because you have to be open to it. And again, this is why using your own words are very impactful versus someone else's script. So if I open my mind, my heart to the positive parts of my life with gratitude, I deserve to be nurtured as an individual and nurturing as a caregiver. Again, another powerful statement. One of my lingering favorites of all time is that we're all famous for saying we meet a person where they're at. We remind ourselves of that. But when we're caregiving, sometimes it's very easy to be frustrated if the person has their own physical, mental, emotional challenges in that day, in that time. What we can say to ourselves to start our day is, I am stronger than I know. I understand that my loved one has a disease that prevents them from equal give and take at this time. I move through any challenges with balance, trust, patience, and peace. And in the beginning, that is easier said than done. You have to take it in pieces because it is human nature. It's totally natural to be frustrated with someone who might be repetitive or themselves in a bad mood because they didn't sleep, they have chronic pain, they have a disease you don't have. You're not living in their body, you don't know how it feels, but you can empathize, you can take a minute to understand it might be the disease talking when they say negative things or when they get fixed in a mood. But if you can shift the energy and shift the environment that you're in with all of these tools that we're using can relate and translate over to the person you're caring for so that that ripple effect now encompasses both of you. So if we're setting the stage for the day, it might be that we have a beautiful aromatherapy diffuser going on, all the favorite scents and smells of coffee brewing or something baking, and gentle music, not disturbing background noise of the news. Like, we can control the environment, we can control the stimulus, and we can control how we speak to ourselves. I am stronger than I know. I understand that my loved one has a disease that prevents them from equal give and take at this time. I move through my challenges with balance, trust, patience, and peace. You may need to repeat that mantra more than a few times, but it is a great reminder that they are not always responsible for what they say, what they do, what energy they give off. It's up to us to be able to try to shift that. So, one of the most powerful things you can do to set your day up for success, getting organized with a self-care toolkit. If you spend a lot of time in your car, then this needs to live in the car. You might need to restock it from time to time, make it a weekly thing, maybe every Sunday night. If you're still working, you might cook ahead or pack some healthy snacks or be ready for your day, refilling that self-care toolkit. Everybody's toolkit's going to look different. My toolkit has a myriad of things in it. It could be an essential oil right out of a bottle, out of a roller ball, out of a spray, but it's never far from me because I know that essential oils given to the brainstem at the middle of the back of the neck has the fastest way of affecting your nervous system and the bottom of your feet. If it's applied there, you have 4,300 nerve endings in each foot. It's going to be carried to your whole body in up to 7 minutes. That essential oil, whatever the purpose of it is, whether it's for relaxation, grounding, whatever it is, it should be a calming one to get through your day. And there are some that are uplifting. It depends on your motivation. If I know that that tool is going to impact me so quickly, I'm going to have it on hand. I'm going to have it in my cup holder in the car, in my purse, on my desk, wherever I need it, and replenish as needed. But they last a good amount of time. If you're using pure, certified, therapeutic grade oils, then you know that you're getting the most intensity, the most impact. And they last longer. You're using less of it. So even though it might cost a little bit more to get a CPTG, certified pure therapeutic grade oil, it's worth it. So if I'm placing it at the middle of the back of my neck and I'm breathing in a little bit, this is not necessarily something that you are going to just take the bottle and inhale, but you can. And the quick in the moment, that's going to your olfactory system. It's helping you shift your energy. If you're taking the time in the morning and this is part of your toolkit in your routine, you would put it on right after your shower and get your socks or whatever on for your day, and it's done. You can replenish at the middle of the back of the neck, much easier throughout your day than taking your shoes and socks off and replacing that and replenishing. So I always have it on hand to replenish at the middle of the back of the neck. So toolkits, like I said, can be different for everyone. When you're a new mother, you have a baby bag. You are always prepared. You have hydration. You have, emergency things. You might have medication in there. You may have a lot of wipes and a lot of diapers. So it's no different when you're caring for an aging loved one. If they are not incontinent, hooray. But if they are, having a bag large enough with everything you're going to need stocked in there, meaning hydration for them, healthy hydration for them, snacks for them, hand wipes, hand sanitizer, their blend of aromatherapy that works for them. What works for them might not work for you. So having extra layers of clothing, having a change of clothing, for example, if you're heading out and you're going off to a stressful environment of traffic and off to a doctor's appointment, knowing that you have everything in that toolkit to be able to tackle your day, it will already bring you a little bit of peace of mind because you know you're prepared. So if you have that ready to go, it's a way of distracting the person. If they're in your car with you and they're feeling now ramped up because they're getting nervous, they're going to the doctor. And, maybe they did just eat breakfast, but if a snack works for them, it's distracting. It's, they like a banana, a slice of apple. They like any kind of treat. Half of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich isn't going to hurt them. Just something that can ground them in their body. It's mindful in the moment. They can follow it. They can pay attention to that. It gets their mind off of where we're heading or what's happening in the stimulus around you, the noise of the traffic. So adjust the music, have your toolkit handy, as minimal distractions as possible, of course, while driving. But once you're in your destination and you're heading where you're going, then you've got all of your things that you can pack. I try to stay away from caffeines, things that are, spiking your energy, which can shift you to make you more agitated or anxious if you're having too much caffeine. Even chocolate, can do that to us if you're a sensitive person. So you want these snacks, these things to be things that are safe, that aren't causing stomach upset, that don't have a history of any of that with the person that you're caring for, but especially for yourself. If you know that there's something soothing you can keep on hand, that's what you want to have in your kit and restock in your car, as well as things on your phone. We don't leave home without our phones. So if our music can travel with us, having a shared earbud with the person that you're with, maybe you're putting that guided meditation music now in their ear so that they can listen to it with you. Anything that's going to work, from comfortable clothes, the right layers of things, so that if you're going into a hot office or cold office, you're fully prepared for comfort measures. And then having whatever your favorite, if it is an oil, if it is food, if it is drink, whatever those things, they're handy to you. That bag goes with you wherever you are. So being our own coach can sometimes be difficult, to police ourselves and our behaviors and whether we're using our tools, and we need sometimes a reminder. We might need, outside of ourselves, a healing facilitator, a massage therapist, a coach, a naturopath, an acupuncturist, your own doctor, a therapist, for example. No matter what your symptoms are that you're trying to manage, there's usually a facilitator out there that you can find that can be referred to you through us or through other sources. But if you get to that balanced place where you can coach yourself and remind yourself, whether you're setting a reminder on your phone or using, a sticky note or whatever reminder, to use your tools to stay calm and pick from that toolkit and remind yourself for a morning practice and an evening practice, that's great. But eventually we all get off track, right? Life happens. You might get sick, you get sidetracked, a crisis has occurred, you have to travel suddenly, and now we're reactionary. So this is just a reminder that sometimes we need to look outside of ourselves to go back to those tools and that daily practice. And having an accountability partner, whether it's a friend, a family member, or a professional, can really help us stay on track. So self-care is non-negotiable. I hope everybody knows that. You really, truly have to stay focused on yourself before you can be of any use to caring for others. This resource slide is going to be emailed to everyone, so I'm not going to linger on here, but just letting you know, there is a reason that I'm not going deep into the whole category of essential oils, because it is an hour-long presentation in and of itself, but I am giving you some tools here, giving you some links to some great products. I'm also giving you a list of calming essential oils so that you can pick and choose which ones you might like from that list. And then a list of uplifting oils. So if we're having a sluggish day, it's cloudy, it's rainy, it's now getting dark sooner. We might be stressed or burdened, we're fatigued, we didn't sleep well the night before. instead of a calming oil, we might need an uplifting oil. We might need something like a grapefruit oil that goes straight to your olfactory senses. Just like eating a grapefruit wakes up your taste buds. It also, smelling it and having it on your body, using it topically, can be very uplifting, as well as wild orange. Peppermint is fantastic. All of these can be a drop in your tea or in your water, or you can use it topically. You can use it as an inhalant. So there are going to be those days that a calming oil may not be where you're feeling. You might feel that you need that uplifting to get through this balance of your day. And then in the evening, you go back to a calming oil, depending on what kind of day you're having. So I just wanted you all to know that this resource slide will be sent to you, so you will have it as a cheat sheet. Now we're going to go into the practice. So I'm just going to leave this slide up, this questions, and have you go to, if you haven't already, go to speaker view so that you're seeing me. And I'm going to stop the share for a second. Bear with me. Okay.
You see the green button
Yes,
down at the bottom?
I'm just trying to X out of the presenter. There we go. Is everybody just seeing me now?
Nope, I still see the presentation. Hold on. Did you stop share
It's not giving me
at
that
the
option.
top?
Oh, there we go. Everything's hiding on my on my
So what
toolbars.
we're asking people to do, because this is not an official webinar Zoom, is go to the top where it says view, the 9 dots at the top right, and click on the top one. It should be the top one that click on speaker instead of gallery, and that way it will show whoever's speaking.
Okay, so I will be opening everything up to questions after we run through the practice a few times so that you feel a bit of confidence with it. So I'm just going to back up a little bit away from the camera so you can see my body a little bit better. And the first practice I want to take you through that you can use in the morning or in the evening or at any time of day to shift your energy. So sitting comfortably, back up straight. You may be lying down in bed when you do this, which is fine as well. You can be in any position. We're going to do a gentle head, neck, shoulder stretch. So just gently dropping your chin to your chest in as far as it is without feeling a strain or hurting it. We don't want to overextend. Just a gentle stretch. And then bringing it back up. And then going to the side gently. Meeting back in the middle. And then going to the other side gently. Not straining the range of motion, just gently going as far as you can without feeling a strain or a hurt. And then meeting in the middle, looking up, stretching our neck. Open your mouth and spread your jaw. Gently, then bringing it back to middle. And then if you drop your chin again to your chest and just gently try to roll your head to one side, very slowly. We don't want to hurt anything. And if you have any neck issues, you may just do a very limited range of motion on this stretch. What might be helpful if you do have a sore neck or shoulders or a disc issue would be just gently taking your head and only pulling your head toward your shoulder in the amount that is comfortable for you. Just a tiny little gentle stretch. And to the other side. And as you're doing this, I'm hoping that your mind isn't racing, that you're in the moment doing the practice. There are ways to just stay very present in doing that simple little technique. And now you can move into breath work. Not everyone is going to master breath work. And if you have breathing issues, there are ways to modify everything that I'm teaching. But a very famous, popular one is called 478 breath work. It is a gentle relaxation technique. And for folks who have trouble holding their breath or slowly exhaling, you can take that down to 4, 4, and 4, and then work your way up to doing 4, 7, and 8. And what I mean by that is the inhale is on a beat of 4. So we're counting to ourselves. I will be counting out loud for you to breathe in over a count of 4, to hold that breath for a count of 7, and then to gently release that breath through the mouth for a count of 8. And it looks like this. So it's an inhale through the nose for a count of 4. And now you can all follow with me. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, and holding it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and gently releasing through the mouth 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, one more time. I'm not going to count this time. I'm going to have you count in your head. Do it at your own pace. Breathing in on 4. Holding for 7. And releasing slowly on 8. Now, when you do that silently for yourself, you're in the moment. You're hopefully not thinking about anything else. It's capturing your attention. If you are feeling distracted and you really can't focus on it, again, my famous YouTube free, beautiful resource, just go in the search tab and put in 478 breath, 478 breathing. You're going to see these amazing background of ocean waves or nature sounds, and it counts for you on a count of 4, counts for you that hold of 7, and counts for you that breath out of 8. Until you master it yourself, you can maybe do that as a guided tool. And if someone doesn't have that lung capacity, or you're struggling with holding it for 7 or holding it for 8, 4, 4, 4 is perfectly fine. Many people stick to that, or they graduate to 4, 7, 8. So let's try it again, starting with the head, neck, shoulder stretch, move into the breath. So head down, back up, turning to the side gently, back to center, turning to the other side gently, and back to center, looking up gently, stretching the mouth, the jaw, the throat. This helps from clenching, back to center, and then a head roll to the side, and a gentle head roll to the other side. And then maybe just down to the shoulder with a hold. Very quick and easy, shouldn't take very long. And what you're doing is you're stimulating your vagus nerve, which is at the brain stem. It's at the middle of the back of your neck. It runs down into your heart. It runs into your stomach and your gut. And so if we're stimulating this first thing in the morning, maybe midday or in the afternoon, and then again at night, You're bringing yourself into a calmer state. Now we add that breath work in, breathing in on 4, holding for 7, and exhaling over 8. Try it again on your own. Just going to mute myself for so breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing out on 8, 2, 3, 4. I knew eventually that my throat would kick in. So I'm going to try to clear my throat and get back to this practice for you. One of the tips would be to tap your thalamus gland. That helps regulate your immune system. One of the ways that we can enhance the breath work is through expansion of the rib cage and the diaphragm. Excuse me for a second. So once you've gotten into your practice of gentle head and neck stretch and your 4-7-8 breathing or your 4-4-4, on your breath work, you may now add in the rib cage expansion stretch. So it looks like this, just a simple opening up. And again, only do the range of motion that feels comfortable for you. Nothing that's going to strain, pull, or hurt. And that's opening your rib cage, opening the diaphragm, and then retracting, bringing your shoulder blades in, bringing your arms in, retracting. And that stretch, again, vagus nerve, it's going down through the body to the stomach. So if we're opening up, this should help us expand the amount of breath that we can take in. It also enhances the practice itself by bringing you even more presence. So the more that you have to consider, focus, and pay attention to your body, your breath, and your counting, the outside world is gone. You're in that moment. You are doing your practice. It can take 5 minutes. It can take 7 minutes or 10 minutes. It's a simple, easy practice. So it would look like this. If you're doing the 4-7-8, I'm not going to count. I'm just going to do the stretch with it. So if I'm inhaling on 4, I'm holding on 7, and then I'm releasing on 8 and curving my neck, curving my spine, collapsing, moving those shoulder blades in, squeezing it together, only what's comfortable. So if you were really going, if you're an overachiever and on day 1, you want to do all 3 of these practices together, then fantastic. You could do that. And you could incorporate in your breath work and holding and releasing. So it's a really simple in and out. And if that feels comfortable for you, it's a great way to improve upon. Now, there may be times when you are in an environment that it would look very awkward if you just started doing that stretch. So you may want to just do the breath work. Nobody has to know. You could be anywhere. And maybe you take it down to the 4-4-4 and you do that to just gently quiet yourself, get yourself reset. You can be anywhere at any time trying to use these tools. But the stretching part, might be a little awkward if you're in a mixed environment. So you could do that in your car. You could do it in your home. You can do it out in nature, which is always preferable to be in fresh air and sunlight. Um, those three pieces of head, neck, gentle stretch, soothing and stimulating the vagus nerve, the breath work, and then adding that rib cage opening, I think is a lot for a beginner. If you've never done anything like this before, piece it down. Start with one piece, the second piece, add the third if you're comfortable with that. I do want to open to questions and take you off mute at this point.
Should feel free to unmute themselves. I did not actually mute you. So if you could just physically raise your hand if you have a question, and I'm happy to call on you for Kristine. Gigi.
Not so much a question, but just a couple of things that I noted that have been so helpful, that aggressive exercise can trigger anxiety. Kristine,
It's not that it necessarily triggers anxiety. What it does is it doesn't self-soothe you to the point that you can
okay,
quickly reset yourself.
all
So
right,
what we're trying to establish with vagus nerve stimulation and soothing is a fast, quick way to de-escalate our whatever is triggering us. So a fast jog or run around the block isn't necessarily going to quickly reset our energy to soothe us. That's
right,
going to pump us up. So what we can do instead is the stretching. That's going to take it down. And then the breath work and the oils, those are specifically to calm and soothe versus shift and uplift and make us, in a higher vibration. So we
right.
don't want to be pumped up. We want to be soothed down slightly.
And loved the note that the back of neck and the feet are the two
Yes.
most receptive places for instant
They are the fastest carrier
effect.
system to all the parts of your body, to every organ, to every cell, to every part of you. So, in sleep management, to structure sleep, whether you're working on an infant, an adult, or an elderly person with challenges, the bottom of the feet is where you would apply the chamomile or the lavender to help with that sleep. You can do it at the middle of the back of the neck as well, but the bottom of the feet would be the fastest way.
Okay,
If you're treating anxiety, that would be the same thing, those same soothing oils. If you're treating an upset stomach, it would be the peppermint oil on the bottom of the feet. If you're treating, the uplifting oils, we want to inhale them, certainly. They smell fantastic, but the bottom of the feet is the fastest way for any of those symptom results that we want to achieve.
I also love the distinction between the calming and uplifting oils. I don't know that I had ever thought about that. Like you just said, they all smell great.
Yes,
So I hadn't thought
but
about
they have different intentions.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll go
Great
back.
question, Gigi. Thank you. I'm glad you could join us.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
I'm glad my voice lasted as long as it did. And
You're
I
still
am
making it.
I'm a
Yeah.
little raspy right now, but I appreciate any new questions that come through. And this is, of course, being recorded, so love that we can edit a little bit. Anyone else have a question for me?
So I just want to say that this is the first workshop. We are going to have a whole series that we'll be sending out as of today. We will be putting up the workshop that's going to be December 3rd with Julia Nikros, our dementia specialist. And it is called When Nostalgia Meets Dementia. And it is all about the strategies to put in place to have really meaningful holidays and how that might need to look a little different, but how we can help you to have a good holiday with your loved one who is having memory disorder or memory symptoms, and life is a little bit different. So that will be a similar format where it will be virtual, it will be complimentary, we'll have you sign up. So we'll be sending that out to everyone. And then in January, Kristine and Julia, our dementia specialists, will be doing a joint workshop, and we'll be sending out details. Our whole goal is to do all the things that we do in care management, and add the focus of supporting the best quality of life and making sure that everyone that we're working with or anyone who's interested has all these wonderful strategies from a more holistic standpoint. Any other questions from anyone? Go ahead, Liz.
Again, not a question, but a comment. I've been using the lavender oil Kristine gifted on my feet almost every night since she gave it to me. And I swear the nights that I forget to use it, I see a difference. I feel a difference in my sleep.
Yeah.
I feel very well rested, deep in sleep when I use the lavender oil. And if I ever wake up in the middle of the night too, I've been channeling Kristine and I do sort of a meditated like breathing to help myself get back to sleep, and it works. So
I'm so
Wow.
glad that you're using your tool, and
I rub it on my husband's feet.
that blend is actually called Serenity. It has lavender, chamomile, and a bunch of other ingredients, because I've found over the years that a blend of different ones that have different properties work better than one alone. And chamomile itself is for sleep, and lavender won't necessarily put you to sleep. So if you combine the two, the lavender will soothe you, will get you in a calm state, but the chamomile is more of the sedative. So if you drink a cup of chamomile tea at, bedtime or a little bit before bedtime, and you're adding in, so these practices can be ingested, inhaled, and topical for that triple entourage effect. So thank you for sharing that, Lizzie. I'm glad you're using it. I'm glad it's helping, and you'll get a restock for the holidays.
Thank you, Kristine.
That's wonderful. I just want to add that we are happy to have anyone have a complimentary discovery call with Kristine that can be booked on our website, to see if then having a consultation with her would be helpful. So just like I talk to many people who are just interested in learning about our services, and people can schedule that with me to come into the practice. Kristine would be available for a discovery call to see if a personalized plan could be helpful. Are there any other questions?
Anne, did you have a question?
No, I just really appreciate this. I think it's really, really helpful information. I guess I do have one question. Do you find this helpful for patients to try to do this?
Oh,
Are they,
1000%.
Yeah.
This is just a specific honoring of caregivers by having this workshop specifically geared toward caregivers. But to pass on these tools to the person that is having any kind of struggle, whether it be a physical deterioration, symptoms of chronic pain, of any kind of symptoms, mental, emotional, physical, etc. Having their own tools designed for what works for them in their body is so empowering that I'll give you an example. A client in her 80s, poor sleep, chronic pain, multiple other things I won't get into, learning how to use the essential oils specifically for pain management, not necessarily a soothing or an uplifting, but one that's just for pain. Also learned breath work, also learned how to tap into her electronics to upload and have on the ready guided meditation, so that when she wakes up, if she wakes up in the middle of the night, that is there to put her back to sleep, how she can get herself back into a relaxed state. So in that wellness consultation, after a full assessment, we designed the tools that made the most sense for her and what her capabilities are. Especially if people have dexterity issues, if they've got arthritis in their hands, we have to adapt the tool to what's going to work for them, and make it in a simple packaging that's going to be successful for them. So there are a lot of tips and tricks, and there are many more tools, but these are the ones that I find are the fastest to reset your energy. Just a reminder for everyone, because I did go through those slides quickly. The fastest way to practice shifting your energy quickly would be to change your location. Get up from wherever you are. If you have the ability to leave the room and get fresh air, we want to reset the energy with a breath of fresh air. That's the fastest, easiest way. Change position, change location. Get that movement going, the breath, the stretch, the oils, the music, and vocalizing. Those are the ways. And that might look different to different people. That vocalizing might be, I need to call the friend that always makes me laugh, and she's going to shift my energy right out of this funk. And I'm going to dial it in and, like, help me get out of this mood, or help me, this just happened. I need to just speak it out loud so I can get past it. And then they commiserate with you, and then you can put it to rest and move it aside. So if it's a really stubborn trigger, if it's a really stubborn thing that your tools just haven't kicked it out, then you may need to call in those reinforcements and shift your energy that way. It was a very long answer to a simple question.
Thank you.
No,
Sorry.
it's great information. I also want to add that probably 80% of our client caseload have some form of cognitive impairment. So that's why combining Kristine's history of knowledge in dementia care with wellness and our dementia specialists together to really create something that will work based on where that person is in that process, I think is going to be extremely helpful. And we're trying to get the word out. And so thank you so much for attending.
Thank
We
you.
will get this out to you, the resources, and then you'll be able to look at this. If you need a refresher, it will be up on our website within the next few days.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
everyone.
for coming. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you.